If you think that bears are actually cuddly and cute like the toy and entertainment industries make them out to be, you've got another thing coming. As some of the deadliest mammals on the planet, being cute is the furthest thing from their minds. With a bite force of 975 psi and razor-sharp claws, these beasts can cause a range of injuries from deep tissue damage to fractured bones. And absolutely nobody is safe from these prowlers. Whoa! Be it animals like pigs or wolves or skiers and hunters. On today's lineup of some of the craziest bear attacks ever recorded, we've brought you a bit of everything. Number 12. Pigging out before hibernation. While black bears mostly feed on plants like grasses and dandelions, as omnivores, meat and fish are also staples in their diet. Studies suggest that their eating habits eventually come down to what's seasonally available and how close they are to hibernating. For instance, during summer, they heavily consume the easily available soft fruits and berries. For their protein content, they rely on the increased summertime insect activity. But as winter approaches, they start to go after proper protein, aka meats. This is quite understandable. After all, a diet of mosquitoes and strawberries won't help them bulk up for their hibernation periods. As for the type of meat, the bears that reside close to a water source usually choose fish for their winter reserves. The ones that live elsewhere, however, have to make do with whatever's available, including wounded animals. That's probably what happened in this circumstance as well. The black bear must have chanced upon the wounded boar. Wild boar-related accidents are a fairly common thing. To add to that, the dead leaves on the scene suggest that it's fall, the season where a bear's need for meat is so high that it'll even eat carrion. Simply put, a wounded hog is too good of an opportunity to miss. Now, if you're thinking, why did it run off without its meal at the end? Well, that's probably because of the crowds that started to gather. Bears aren't fond of large groups of people, which is why you're always advised to not travel alone through bear country. Number 11. Territorial troubles. Out of all of the bear types out there, brown bears are the most highly territorial. Apart from that, they're also solitary animals, meaning that they won't even congregate with their own kind. Unless, of course, they need to mate. Wolves, even though they live in packs, are pretty similar to bears when it comes to guarding their territories. They go as far as to protect their home ranges from other wolf units. Now imagine putting up these two creatures in the same facility. It would easily result in a bloodbath. And that's exactly what happened at the Dierenreich Zoo in Mirlo. See how these brown bears are trying to tear the she-wolf apart? It's like the ancient punishment of drawing and quartering traitors, but with only bears and not horses. To put things further into perspective, each one of these bears weighs somewhere between 170 to 1,300 pounds. The she-wolf, on the other hand, might only weigh between 77 to 120 pounds. Now introduce a brown bear's unpredictable temperament into the equation, and you'll see how wrong the zookeepers were to think that these two species would get along. We're glad they finally saw the error of their ways and have now confined the animals to their own spaces. Better late than never. Number 10. One too many. To repeat what we said earlier, come fall, bears' need for meat increases tenfold. As a result, livestock killings during the season tend to skyrocket as well. However, and quite unlike their bigger kinfolk, black bears aren't capable of surplus killings. So to say, if the other pig hadn't come to the rescue, it wouldn't have been easier for the bear to make a kill. As far as climbing over the fence goes, black bears are some of nature's fastest tree climbers. They can use their 2-inch long curved claws to climb trees as high as 100 feet, and get this, they can do this in less than 30 seconds. So we're pretty sure that the fence here was child's play. Number 9. Nature's the Flash. If you've ever attended a Bearwise program, you'd know that outrunning a bear is the stupidest thing you can do. Bears are remarkably good runners because of their muscular legs. Look at this footage from the Tijan Ranch. Notice how quickly the bear lunges at the piglet? Yeah, we were expecting nothing less from an animal with a speed of 35 miles per hour. And before you ask, they can do it downhill, uphill, and whichever other hill you can think of. The idea that they can't run downhill is nothing but a myth. Number 8. Venison. Now that you're already aware of the bear's dietary habits, you might not find this video weird, but it is. Let's explain. While bears are known to feed on deers, they rarely attack fully grown ones, probably because their speeds of 35 to 40 miles per hour make them a tad bit faster than bears. Nevertheless, when they do manage to capture these otherwise agile creatures, it's really hard for them to make a clean break. Think about it. Would you be able to survive 170 to 1,300 pounds of monstrosity weighing your 100 to 150 pound body down? Exactly. The deer doesn't stand a chance. Number 7. Going downhill. Here's some more evidence of bears' fascinating speeds and ability to run downhill. Apart from that, this video also helps explain why it's not recommended to run away from them. Plain and simple, it triggers their chase response. They begin to see you as their prey. Good thing the man wasn't on foot. He wouldn't have been able to get away like he did with the skis. You know, since we can only run 6 to 8 miles per hour, whereas with skis our speeds can go up to 157 miles per hour. Number 6. Sneaking up gone wrong. Sneaking up is something that you shouldn't do on any animal, least of all on a brown bear. As we explained before, they're very unpredictable. Nevertheless, if you ever find yourself in a similar situation as the person from the footage, do not kick the bear. We repeat, don't kick it. What you can do instead is play dead. Or if that doesn't work, just lie down in a fetal position and try to protect your head and neck. Remember, these things have a swipe force that can easily take out a fully grown moose. You're like a fly to them. They could swat you to death in mere seconds. Another helpful tip to survive a bear attack is boxing them on the ears or eyes. However, we wouldn't recommend this when much safer options like playing dead are available. Number 5. Don't mess with mama bear. Bear and human encounters have increased significantly in the past years. This is because of how humans have started moving into bear habitats. For this reason, experts have now started observing a new kind of behavior among bears. That is, they'll break into homes in search for food. These types of bears are usually referred to as nuisance bears. They're mostly young males who've recently dispersed from their mothers, or mothers with cubs. In the case in question, the bears have been identified as a mama bear. Now, while grizzly bear females are notorious for killing to protect their cubs, black bears are different. The most they'll do is bluff charge at you. If this happens, your best bet at avoiding injuries is to stand still and prove that you're not going to harm their cubs. Under no circumstance should you be running around like the duo in this clip. We've already told you why. It activates their pursuit predation. Number 4. Reverse Goldilocks. Here's another example of what a nuisance bear is, only this one is inside the property and not outside. Whoa! Now, you guys might be wondering if there's a way to keep these beasts away from your homes. Oh, there are plenty of ways. The people in this video are actually doing one of the most sensible things to do when faced with a home invasion. Simply scream your heads off. Whoa! This is a surefire way of making a bear retreat. They absolutely detest loud noises. Besides that, you need to ensure that you're not leaving any foodstuffs outside. Yes, this includes bird feeders and grills for them to come looking for. If these tricks also fail, then you can either invest in an electric fence or ask the authorities to either relocate or put the bear down. Number 3. Moosing around. Remember how we mentioned that these things can easily take down a moose? Well, here's the evidence. In case you've never seen a moose, they can grow up to be anywhere between 5 feet to 11 feet. Bears, on the other hand, can be as tall as 3 feet to 5 feet when they stand up on their hind legs. In spite of these differences, moose calves are a staple of most bear diets. Only calves because, come on, let's not forget that moose have antlers that can grow to be 6 feet. And also, not just as much as hitting a moose can completely destroy a car. Connect the dots! Number 2. Just checking up. Here's a clip that confirms bears are awesome climbers. Do you notice how casually he's holding on to the tree? It's all thanks to those claws we mentioned. Another interesting thing to note here is that instead of going down the tree head first, the bear uses its hind legs to descend. That's not what most mammals do. It's just a black bear type of thing. Number 1. You're not welcome. Finally, here's another incident where shouting at the top of their lungs helped some people survive. If they hadn't been smart enough, either they'd be dining with the bear, or the bear would be dining on them. Alright, comment down below what you want to see next. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Wildly for more. See you in the next one.